This is Seroma Christian High School. My name is Sunalorian Evet, and here I am with my speakers, Kabale Joe, Mwiza Atkunda Matsiko, and Alinde Jonathan. We are here to debate the motion. This House, as the United Nations Security Council, will justify wars among states as for self-defense. We are going against Kyambogo College School.
Hello everyone, my name is Namara Sandra, and this is the Kyambogo College team. This is Alito Enoch, he's our third speaker, Kawesa Ryan, our first speaker, Namara Sandra, second speaker, and Katende Hannington, our fourth speaker. Today we are going to be versing Seroma and will be team affirmative.
And in this debate, we expect to explore the possible methods the UN Security Council can use to promote self-defense and international security among states. We expect this crucial win. We are motivated and we are ready to take back this win home against the hosts.
House rules. Each speaker has 5 minutes. The first and last minutes are protected. The judge will ring a bell to signal the protected time. The bell will ring continuously after 5 minutes.
The panel of jury, the two antagonistic sides, and the August House. Protocol observed. My name is Kawesa Ryan Mwesigwa, the first speaker of the affirmative team. Resolved. This house as the UN Security Council will justify wars among states for self-defense, and I'll start with definitions. The UN Security Council is one of 6 principal organs charged with ensuring international peace and security. To justify is to prove why something is right, and states, these are countries or nations that are part or member states of the United Nations. And then a war is a conflict among member states of the United Nations that poses a risk to the economic, social, and political security of each state, of either state. Self-defense is a means to protect the security of an individual state. That is the security that we are referring to, the political, social, and economic security of member states. And also says the United Nations website and the United Nations Charter. So why do we intend to justify what? To justify wars. So we come up and we tell you that according to Chapter 7, Article 51 of the United Nations Charter, we are striving hard to protect the rights of self-defense in case of war provoked in form of attack. So we realize that it is an obligation of the United Nations Security Council to promote international peace, therefore is in position to help aggressed states. So we realize that Chapter 7 of the United Nations Charter deals with action with respect to threats, peace, in response to threats to peace, breaches of peace, and acts of aggression. And it has various sub-articles, which are Article 39, 40, 41, 42, and 51, which shall be referred to in the affirmative case. So we realize that in case of a war, in case of an attack from one of the two states, one of the member states, we realize that there's going to be the various causes of wars. So we realize that the different wars that we're going to refer to in the affirmative case are superior-inferior conflicts, whereby one state, basing on the fact that it is a superior country to another, will use its superiority in order to oppress a less financially stable or economically stable any other country. It will oppress it, and that is what we're referring to as superior-inferior conflicts. Then we realize that the reason why the United Nations Security Council would justify wars would be because of other means like sanctions. So we realize there are other means of ending wars, right? We realize that the United Nations Security Council's major aim is to promote peace. But there are other means that we would refer to, that is peace resolutions, that is going to be negotiations and sanctions. But we come up and realize that these will have multiple other effects on the member states of the UN, ignorant of whether or not they are a victim in the conflict. So we realize that if at all we had posed economic sanctions, there would be a lot of damage to other states. There will be a lot of financial instability in other states. We therefore realize that the best solution would be self-defense, and that way we shall prevent the widespread impact of the war. Realize that our form of self-defense will only be if you attack my residents, if you attack my citizens, then I will respond. Then I will respond to your attack. I will only respond to your attack and not form my own attack. Therefore, we realize that in the case of team affirmative, we shall not promote revenge, which is attack my attack my health centers, I attack your health centers. But we realize that in the affirmative case, we are going to promote military to military attacks, whereby we shall not engage the public, we shall not engage the general public, but rather the military parts of each state. Realize that Team Affirmative does not encourage rebellious attacks and does not encourage third-party interventions into the conflicts. We therefore will reduce widespread of the wars.
Ladies and gentlemen, this House as a UN Security Council would justify wars among states for self-defense. We are here to negate the motion basing solely on what they have said. Ladies and gentlemen, realize that the UN is a body that was formed after the Second World War, and its principal preamble is to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war according to the Charter. So, the Security Council under Article 24, Chapter 5 is conferred the primary responsibility by the UN General Assembly for maintenance of international peace and security, for prompt and effective action, and must act in accordance with UN principles. UN principles are maintenance of international peace and security, and among others, suppression of acts of aggression or other breaches of peace, under Article 1, Chapter 1 of the UN Charter. So we do acknowledge the fact that under Article 51 of the UN Charter, Chapter 7, nations do have a right to self-defense. We have not denied that. In fact, if we are considering superior-inferior conflicts, nations do have a right to self-defense. We do not deny that. And the only way to self-defense is war, because we realize that war is a domino of events that only occurs after breakdown of conflict resolution. But here's the catch. Nations have a right to self-defense until the Security Council has taken necessary measures to maintain international peace and security. So it is on these grounds that we come as Team Negative. We come as the non-UN Security Council members of the General Assembly. And we say that the UN Security Council, the UN was formed in 1945 with a mandate to maintain peace, not the mandate to instigate war. So we do not deny individual nations the right to self-defense. But what we are saying here is that the UN Security Council has no right, has no ethical grounds, and has no institutional capacity to justify wars on grounds of self-defense. Ladies and gentlemen, the UN Security Council has conferred responsibility by member states of the General Assembly to make decisions that promote effective action, prompt and effective action. Therefore, we are talking about quick response. We are talking about a response that is quick. So we have three main points of argument. War is still war. War has devastating humanitarian consequences. War has devastating economic consequences, and therefore, in case the inferior country even manages to ward off the attacker, in case the inferior country even manages to ward off the superior invader, they will be left with a number of effects that they will not be able to solve. As my second speaker will tell you in her speech. Ladies and gentlemen, realize that the UN Security Council has 5 permanent members, and these 5 permanent members have the greatest defense capabilities in the world. They also have the most complex and conflicting diplomatic and strategic interests in the world. So, expecting impartiality on the side of the UN Security Council is a lie. Ladies and gentlemen, in case, even if we were to justify wars for self-defense, we can't. These members cannot be impartial. These members have strategic interests in all the world's conflicts as we know them, be it Serbia, Kosovo, be it Russia, Ukraine, among others. As my second speaker will explain, and because of these interests, they cannot come to a decision to justify war, even though it was necessary. And therefore, we believe that also they have veto power. That's as our third point, we believe that they have veto power that will delay immediate, prompt, and effective response in terms of a conflict. So what do we want to be done? We want the UN Security Council to represent with the members of the General Assembly well. We want them to go and promote peace and international security. We don't want to justify war. We cannot justify war. But the UN Security Council should come up with measures to promote immediate peace, including economic sanctions, which they should be able to tell us how they should be able to prove to us how these economic sanctions affect other countries outside the invaded country. We should be able to impose economic sanctions. We should be able to blockade the invading country. And we should be able to employ peacekeepers to drive out invaders and protect the citizens. Thank you so much.
This is the High School Crossfire. We'll be back in a minute.